Sarina, welcome to the GroupEX Podcast. It is so nice to have you on the show.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tony. Nice to see you too.
Hey, I'm going to throw this off a little bit different. One word that describes you. What would one word that describes you be?
Energetic.
Okay, I love that. I'm going to park that. We're going to come back to that throughout our conversation. But can you let me and the listeners know how you got into the fitness industry? Where does it all begin for you?
Oh, wow. So I've been in the fitness industry 31 years. I started at a very young age. I'm still very young. And I was born and raised in California. And I remember going to this local clubhouse as a kid, and I would go and take these aerobic classes. And back then, right, everyone knows what Group X exercise is. Back then, it was like repeating what Jane Fonda workout videos were in like a studio or like in this clubhouse. And all we did was grapevine to the right, grapevine to the left, knees up and over, hands up and over, travel with your knees front, travel with it back. And then we just repeated, and we just did that for 45 minutes.
Yep.
And I did it with such pride and energy and wow, let's do it again. Okay, grapevine to the right, grapevine to the left, right? There was no concept of choreography. And the lady, I did that for 6 months. And the lady, I was in high school when I started going to these classes. So the lady that was teaching one day approached me and said, my husband got a job offer somewhere else. We're about to go. Do you want to take over these classes? And I thought, no, I don't. I mean, I just come here for fun. Then she told me how much they're going to pay me. And then I'm like, of course I'll take it over. Sure. At that time, as a teenager, I was like, you're going to pay me how much to exercise? Yeah, sure. I'll do it. No problem. And then I did the exact same thing she did. But then I would spice it up with, well, why don't we add a turn?
Yep. That's fantastic.
Why don't we add a squat here? And so that's how I got into the fitness world. But really what it was, I remember teaching there, and a woman saw me teaching, and she owned a little mom and pop shop down the street, whatever. And she is the one that really took my entire career to another level. She said, I think you would be great at teaching step aerobics. Can I train you, and you come and teach in my studio for free, but I'm going to train you. I'm going to teach you how to teach step. I thought, what's that? So I went into her studio. She taught me how to teach. I would teach her step classes under her guidance.
Yep.
And Tony, I cannot tell you, because I am forever indebted to that woman who believed in me and something about me, pulled me out, took me under her belt, trained me. And in return, I taught classes in her little mom and pop studio. And after that, I just took off in the fitness world, and I understood the 32 count. She just really saw something that I just didn't even know was there.
How nice is that? Nice that somebody saw something in you that you probably didn't see yourself at first, but it's that tap on the shoulder that has completely transformed and changed the path that you might have been going down previously. I love hearing that.
Yeah, completely. It has transformed my path. And then, there's just so many different things that have happened that have just transformed my way forward as to where I'm at now today. Yeah. But I do hope wherever she's at, her name was Brenda. I do hope wherever she's at, she sees me, she reads about me. And I hope she has seen me today, because after a while, you lose touch. I went on to do other things. I was with her for a few years. And then after that, we went on, we parted ways. And I hope she's well. I really hope she's well today.
A big shout out to Brenda if she does listen to this. Thank you. Yeah, thank you from all of us. Thank you so much. It's so nice. So I want to ask you a question then about your first class. If you can cast your mind way back, those 30 odd years ago, your first class, how did your first class go? Was it like mine? Was it a train wreck, or was it an amazing experience for you and your members?
I think for me, it was such an amazing experience because I love, this may sound crazy to you, may not actually, but I love waking up at 5 a.m. I love doing the 6 a.m. classes. So I would be at, when I got classes at 24 Hour Fitness, I would do the morning classes. Then I would go to high school. Then I would come back and I would do the evening classes. So in the morning classes, I was jazzed up because there was like 30 people ready to rock with me at 6 a.m. Now, I don't know if they're there because I'm just this young, bubbly person that's like super energized and ready to rock the world, or do they really also like me because of the choreography I put together? I really took this seriously. Like, I would come up with choreography in such a fun way, right? I just took that whole group exercise aerobic class to another level. We did jumps and ups and over and turns and, strike a pose and then go from the top. And then we would go a little bit faster. I mean, I would plug my music in, and it was just so awesome to be able to teach what I just came up with, a choreography, to these people. And they are there relying on me to get their workout in. I mean, I was on a high. And then in the evening, I would come back and I would teach the hip hop classes, because I told 24-Hour Fitness at that time, I said, give me a chance, let me teach like hip hop aerobics. And they did. They gave me a chance, and I did that, and it rocked. And so I loved these morning classes. They rocked my world. And for 20, plus years that I've been in New York now, I've done right before COVID hit, March 17th, March 16th. I remember teaching that 6:30 a.m. class.
Yep.
And then I said, okay, see you all next week. And then, that ended.
Yeah. So what, how many programs do you teach? And I suppose the question, if you're not teaching them at the moment, how many have you got under your belt of different styles and different formats that you actually do teach?
Yeah. So currently at the moment, I only do Masala Bhangra, but prior to COVID, I was teaching about 15 classes. So I was doing step aerobics, total body conditioning classes, kickboxing classes. Once in a blue moon, I would step in and sub, a cycling class. But my forte was really step aerobics and just really taking that to another level, as well as total body conditioning classes. I love, weights with a little bit of cardio using the step. Like I would teach killer classes, and my students still remember me for that. Like I still remember myself for those classes. I have 2 girls that are very young, and they demand my attention. And so COVID hit, I just haven't gone back to teach all of those classes. But I'm sure, one day I will.
I like that. My listeners would probably know, but you don't, and I'll share this with you. The first step class I ever went to, I just had the step. I didn't have any rises. And before the class had even started, I tripped over and twisted my ankle. So never went back to a step class. It was a moment of me going, okay, that's the universe telling me, Tony.
That's funny.
Step isn't for you, mate. No.
That's funny. No, I love step. Step was for me, and I still would go teach it today. And it's still today, even though it's a 90s program and it's lasted for many years. There are still some hardcore steppers out there. And if you're listening to this right now, I just want to say hello, steppers, because we rocked it. I mean, Tony, I taught both my pregnancies. I taught step aerobics all the way up to the end of my pregnancies. Yep. I would hold my belly, making sure that the baby does not come out. But I'm popping on that step and doing all kinds of twists and turn, and it was magical for me.
Yeah, there's something about steppers that is it's a talent. It is very much a talent. And I'm not saying that just because this clown here tripped over, after 2 seconds of being in the room. But there's the classes that I've watched, and I've seen some where they have 2 steps and they're moving over one and then over to the other. And that just baffles my mind, because there is such a talent and such a skill to be able to do that, but also coach that to a room of people at the same time and know your beats of music, know what's coming up, know your whole routine. Man, I was, let's be honest, I was a personal trainer and I was a indoor cycle instructor, and, a bike, you're up, you're down. There's not much more to choreography that goes with it in relation to that. But a step, when you're moving and you're sashaying and you're doing your knees and doing everything else that are there, that takes a lot of talent. So my hat goes off to any stepper that's out there that's current or from the past. Guys, you've done an amazing job.
Yeah, no, thank you. I do miss it a lot. I do miss step, and it's funny. I'll add a little step choreography into my Indian routine now. Like into the Bhangra routines, I'll add like an out in, or knee comes up and over to, or give me a repeater on each side. Yeah, I'll totally add that in, which is great.
What's New in Fitness? The Australian fitness industry news and commercial gym equipment suppliers website designed to provide fitness industry professionals with knowledge and information to make better informed business decisions. Yeah. Now, obviously, I was introduced to Masala Bhangra early last year, I think it was, through Naki over here. And so some of my listeners would be aware of what the program is as well. But can you give us a very short, brief intro as to what the program actually is and how it came about?
For sure. First of all, I just want to commend you on saying it properly. Thank you so much. Masala Bhangra. So masala in Hindi means spicy. Bhangra is a folk dance from the north part of India. And if you ever go to any Indian dance or any Indian wedding or any sort of celebration, you will always find everyone doing Bhangra, because Bhangra is just a dance of celebration. It's a folk dance. It's very high energy. And Masala Bhangra came about 24 years ago. I still can't believe that I'm celebrating 24 years this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It came out because I remember like I said, right in the earlier, I've been teaching fitness for a long time. I'm running, 30 years now, 3 decades. When I first started teaching fitness, I just thought this was a side hobby. This was fun. It was great to pay off my credit cards and just really get me in shape. And, I got paid to teach exercise, which was great. Then a tragedy happened in my family. I was in college and we lost my father to a massive cardiac arrest. My father was 47 years old. And I remember just thinking, how is it that, I could lose such a pivotal person in my life? Like, how could we lose him at such a young age? Exercise, at least here in America, is just, always talked about in such high regard, but a lot of people don't understand it, why it's so important. And I just thought, if I could come up with an Indian dance workout to get all my aunties and uncles moving, that would be amazing. And that's what I did. I remember being now I'm out of college. I'm here at my first job, a PR firm. And right in the middle of pitching a story, Tony, I swear, I was on the phone pitching Elle magazine, something. And all of a sudden I was like, oh! And then she's like, excuse me? I'm like, oh, just 1 second. Hang on. I put it on hold. I literally just wrote all these notes down because bizarre enough, it just came right there. And then I got back on her. I was like, okay. So then I was talking to her, everything. And then I put the phone down and I went back and I literally saw it, the Indian dance workout. And that day I went back home and I just did every research possible. And I came up with this Indian dance workout called Masala Bhangra from A to Z. All right, this is how it's going to look like. These are some of the names of the moves. I could take this Bhangra step and I could call it this. I could take the Bhangra slide, which would be like the grapevine to the right, and call it Bhangra slide. I could call up and over, which we call up and over knees in aerobics. I can call that Bhangra up and over because it was so similar. And I thought, oh my God, this is it. I've got to come up with the Indian dance workout for my community. And that's really who I came out for, right? Just my community. I really did not create this workout for anybody else. However, when Masala Bhangra was born and it's out there, I'm knocking on all the fitness stores that I already teach at, asking, say, give me a chance. And I don't think at that time these gyms were ready for an Indian dance workout.
Yeah.
There was one gym in, Los Angeles that gave me a chance. And I thought, okay, I told my entire community, please show up. So I expected, all these aunties and uncles to show up. But you'd be surprised, Tony, there was 2 aunties that showed up, my mom and my sister, so 4 Indian people, and the rest were all non-Indian. And there were 50 people ready to roll with me at this special Masala Bhangra class that we have with Sarina Jain.
Wow.
I was shocked.
Yeah.
I was so shocked. And I thought, okay, well, what do I do now? I'm here, they're here, so I might as well just, teach them a little bit about my culture. Let's go. Yeah. And that's literally how it started. And it was such a huge success that they wanted more. And I kept thinking to myself, but this is not for you all. This is for my aunties and uncles. Yeah. Hello, why don't you understand? The entire Indian accent came out and I was talking to myself going, Why am I doing this? How do I even explain to you what is Bhangra? Like, how
Yep.
do I do that? But that really forced me to really think and rethink,
Yep.
okay, this is something for everybody. And what started off as a workout 24 years ago has now turned into a lifestyle where, 15 workout videos are out, instructors in different countries totally understanding how to teach Masala Bhangra. And I've found a way to bring it to the people and bring all kinds of cultures together
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
live a better life, to live a healthier life, and then be proud of who they are. I mean,
Yeah.
it's been a divine path for sure.
Thank you. I was just going to say thank you so much for sharing how it began and with your father. I'm so sorry to hear that. The whether you call this juju, I believe in certain things happen for a certain reason. Okay, and when you said that you were on the phone call, chatting to someone, and then you stopped, and all of this stuff came to you, I'm going to say this, whether it is or wasn't, I believe that it was someone else looking over you that said to you, hey, I'm going to give you a hand with this. I'm going to throw this stuff at you. And the fact that you listened, the fact that you actually took that on board, thank you. Yeah.
I mean, I get emotional thinking about it because, I mean, I wanted to. I mean, I don't know if you've ever lost anyone or if anyone listening has ever lost anyone. Um, when we lost my dad, my mom was 40 years old. She was a very young woman, right? An Indian woman in the United States, and an immigrant lady. Like, she's probably thinking, where do you go now? What do I do? Do I go back to India? Do I stay here? I have two daughters. Like, I just can't even imagine what she must have gone through. So today, when I see my mom, I'm just, even though we constantly are bickering about I'm in awe of her. My hats off to my mom to be able to keep the strength going. So when the entire Indian dance workout idea came, I think it really came under the belt of two things, that my dad would always say is, be proud to be who you are. Don't ever be embarrassed to be Indian. And at the same time, get an education, live a healthy life, live a long life. So these two things really resonate with me even still today,
Yep.
because that's when I first started Masala Bhangra. Of course, my entire community didn't believe it would go anywhere.
Yep.
It's and I understand why they would think that, right? The Indian community has come from India here for a better life. The last thing that they expect is for someone to go make a fitness career, and who's going to come to this Indian dance workout? Nobody's going to go do it. Please go get married now. Like I would hear all of these things. And, but the one person that supported me from the get-go was my mom.
Yep.
And I asked her today, how did you know to even support me? And she's like, I don't know. I'm like, okay.
Yep.
But I hope I've made my dad proud, because I promised him,
You have.
all right, Dad, I'm going to go get this world up moving Indian style. And
Yeah.
I'm proud to be Indian, and I'm going to make you proud. And I'm just
Yep.
like, I can imagine him being here today. And I just hope he would just, stand there with his 6'2", height, just being proud of me.
No, he is. He's looking over you for sure. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. And again, thank you so much for sharing. I know that's really personal stuff, and I appreciate you sharing that with us. Gives us a lot of insight about you and the program. So thank you so much.
Yeah, for sure.
This is the GROUPEX Podcast.
What I want to ask you is a little bit more about the program, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Now, you sort of mentioned that you were creating it for the Indian community, and at first they didn't sort of jump into it. Obviously they have now, and from the stuff that I follow you on social media, and by the way, I love those clips that you put up in Masala Bhangra we do. I think they're fantastic because it's so unique and so different to everything else that's on my feed. And when it comes up, it makes me smile. I really enjoy watching it and go, you know what, that's awesome, because no other program does it. You don't see that happen for any other program. You don't see it for a cycle program. You don't see it for a strength program. Nothing like that whatsoever. You may see some stuff. I've seen some stuff for CrossFit where they may run through a workout to sort of show you what it is. But I absolutely love the moves that you share with that. So please don't stop doing that because I love it.
Yeah, the Tuesday tutorials seem to be a popular one for a lot of people.
They work. But who was the program really designed for? And I suppose who is it for today?
It's come a long way, Tony. What I thought I was creating for the Indian community has now just turned into a dance fitness program that is for anyone and anyone who wants to come and try a new Indian dance workout. Come and get, old school aerobics meets India. It is literally old school aerobics meets India. When you come and take a Masala Bhangra class, I will transform you into this experience of pretend you're going to be at an Indian wedding. We're about to learn choreography. We're going to go, from move 1. We're going to put it together with move 2. Then we're going to go from the top. Then we'll keep adding on until you get this routine. So in 40 minutes, you've learned something new. And then at the end, we jam to a song that I just choose. And then we just repeat the choreography over and over again to this song. So it's literally old school aerobics meets India. And I am old school aerobics. I know today in the fitness world, the 32 count is not as relevant or prevalent. However, for Masala Bhangra, it is. So when I noticed many years ago that there were so many people of different ages, shapes, sizes, and color coming to my class, I was like, all right, Sarina, you just got to take note of all this because this is really important, that there are people eager to learn something from you, and they're there to get a workout, and they're also there to learn a bit about your culture. But what really opened up my eyes was what took me 2 years in California took me 1 week in New York. I was invited to come out to New York to teach Masala Bhangra by a gym in March of 2000. I had 7 classes. I was teaching 1 class a day. I landed on a Saturday. I taught that evening. I left the following Sunday, and every day I was teaching. And every day in a different part of the city, my classes were packed with at least 30 to 40 people because I was a special guest. It was a master class with the founder, Sarina Jain, teaching Masala Bhangra. And it was beyond my imaginary dreams. I was like, wow, this is exactly what I imagined this to be.
Yeah.
It was New York that gave me life, gave Masala Bhangra life. So when I saw all of those people showing up to take my class, I was like, all right, that whole idea and that concept of this is just for the Indian people was out the door in a hot minute. Yeah. Because there were so many people there ready to roll with me. And still today, what blows my mind, 24 years later, I still have some of those same students. But over the years, it has grown into exactly that. It has brought people together, and they still get a great workout. They're learning something new, and then they're able to go take these moves and bust it out at an Indian wedding. And I swear that has happened.
Yeah. Is there an age bracket where you've seen in your classes that you teach or that other instructors teach where there's like, is there a certain age bracket where it's like 40s and above or 40 to 50, or is it the younger crowd? What's the age demographic of people that are coming along to classes?
So for where I teach and for, I guess, the energy that I bring to the class, I mean, I think every instructor is different and every instructor brings their own energy. And yes. So then they attract, their students. Yes. I attract a certain style of student. I attract a certain age group of student. And that honestly is anywhere. My youngest student right now is 23, I believe, 22. She just graduated from college. So 22 all the way up until 70. So I have such a wide variety of people. And if you see the Masala Bhangra videos that I do post on social media, you'll see a wide variety of people that are there. Yeah. And I purposely post that to showcase I'm not here to find the best dancers. I'm here to get you to exercise, get you to get up and move, understand that it is so important to get your heart rate up and moving. And I have found a way to make it fun and exciting and impactful. So I always say, give me a chance. And so I'm hoping that people see them. If you see the video, you'll say, oh my God, that's me right there. If she can do it, I can do it. And just the different ages and cultures that show up, it's mind blowing. Like I'm sure you can understand this, Tony, but I still love teaching. Like I still get a high off of it. I still work on my choreography every week. I mean, 24 years later, 2 kids later, married now for 8 years. Like this is the one thing that I am so grateful that I have, and it keeps my soul going. It keeps me, sane. Thank God.
You sort of touched on it there, and the next question I was going to ask why would people do it, and what are the benefits from it? But you've just summed that up so perfectly, that it gets people moving. And as you're saying, then for you as well, it's like your little outlet. It's your way of, that's my time dedicated to do what I need to do for my fitness and for my health and well-being at the same time. I love that there's programs out there that can really target that, but allow people to feel inclusive.
That is really important for me, because I have been inclusive since the get-go, right? Yeah. And all kinds of people have come into my classes. And I remember meeting people that have said, oh, I'm too old now, I can't do that. Or, that's probably not for me. Or you jump up and down a lot. So I always tell that person, first of all, you're never too old to exercise. I mean, that's one. 2, you don't have to jump up and down. Modify it to make it work for you, but you got to make it work. You can't just sit and watch me do it. You got to come in and do it with me. And I think that's really important, is to understand if today, when I train instructors to teach Masala Bhangra, the one thing I tell them is, please make sure that the door is open at all times and inviting to everyone that comes in and takes a class with you, and that they walk out feeling successful. The last thing I want is for a student to come to class and they feel like, oh my God, that was so hard. I didn't understand it. Never doing that again. Now, I'm not saying you can control that for every single person that walks into your classroom. However, 99% of the time, if you make an impact on a student, they will come back.
Yeah. Yep. And most of the time, bring a friend.
Most of the time, bring a friend.
Or make new friends while they're in there.
That is, I went from workout classes, right? Masala Bhangra workout is now known as just Masala Bhangra. It's a community of people that come together to stay fit, to encourage one another, to have a great time, and then also learn a little bit about culture and learn a little bit about everyone else. I mean, the friendships that have come out of my classes, it's awe-inspiring, at least for me. When I see people hang out today, it's pretty awesome. And the fact that, like, I don't know, I'm still blown away by the fact that I'm still going. And I think people are blown away by the fact that it's 24 years later. Who would have ever thought that this Indian dance workout would have lasted this long?
Yep. Keep going, though. Don't stop.
I love it. 25 years next year, like, I can't believe it, like it's quite exciting.
Brilliant.
But I do hope your listeners are listening loud and clear that, if you love to teach, keep going, because it's it feeds my soul. And then can you imagine what it does for the students?
100%. I think as you sort of alluded to, the age demographic there, from the young ones right up to that 7-year-old, and let's be realistic, while fitness is important when you are younger, I believe it's as, if not more important, as you age. We don't want people to be stopping and just sitting and doing nothing. You need to be active. And the fact that the program, as you said, you can bring the intensity down. It doesn't need to be those high knees. It can just be moving to the side. Whatever it may be, moving is one of those things that actually is going to help us live longer, be healthier, doing everything we possibly can more often.
100%. 100%. I couldn't agree with you more, Tony. A girlfriend of mine, just yesterday, finally, I think, had an aha moment and got it. And she's like, okay, I completely understand now why you have been such a motivator of movement for so many years. She recently actually started moving herself. She started running. I always say, look, if Masala Bhangra is not for you, that's fine, but find something that works for you. So I've always told her, if you don't want to come and take a dance class, that's fine. don't, but find something that works for you. She found running, and now it has become her addiction.
Yep.
And now she's so, addicted to that she did her first half marathon. So these are things that I've been doing for a very long time. So
Yeah.
now she finally got it. And she just messaged me saying, okay, I finally get it now. Why you have been this number one person in my life for movement. I understand completely.
Yeah.
And what I love the most is watching people step out of their comfort zone, try something new, and they're blown away by what they were able to do. That it gives me a high going, it just gives me a high watching them, and then they just feel so good that they were able to learn something new, sweat, and then walk out the door going, wow, I can't believe I just did that. That was amazing. And sorry, can I just share this one thing with you?
Yeah.
What's amazing to me is the music, right? So I take Bhangra music for the most part, and I edit it to a 32 count. And so I use, a mix, right? It's like the old school aerobics, right? It's a 45-minute mix of music. It's not song by song at all whatsoever, right? It's just continuous music. It's like an aerobic class. And Tony, I am blown away by the fact that students have been coming for years, and the music at all, they don't understand the lyrics. They trust me that the lyrics are good, but they don't understand the lyrics. But it's the beat of the music, it's the culture, it's the way classes are taught that it doesn't bother them that they don't understand.
Yeah.
People in India see my students and they're like, wow. Wow. And I'm like, okay, well, I will train you how to, do Indian dance. You just rely on me for that one.
This is the GROUPEX Podcast.
Hey, earlier on you mentioned about videos. You said you got 15 videos out. Talk to me about the videos, how that came about, and who they're for.
Yeah. When I first came out, I came out with my first workout video in the year 2000. And that was my entry into the fitness world of workout videos. I thought, okay, I'm going to create this, first workout video for people who want to exercise, but they're not in, let's say, New York or in California. And so how do I go to them? And I came out with a workout video. And that was awesome because I launched it in the year 2000, and I did a little mini tour in New York promoting my workout video. And in turn, New York City, the two gyms, invited me to move to New York with 15 classes under my belt. So I did that, which is awesome. Yeah. So those 15 to 20 classes were Masala Bhangra classes, plus all the other fitness classes that I taught.
Yeah.
And then I would promote my first workout video. Then the first workout video turned into the second workout video. And it was, these workout videos were very popular. I remember when I was promoting my first workout video, someone said, "You're like the Indian Jane Fonda," right? Because here I am, doing my classes and then promoting my video. And I was like, wow, that sounds really good. Because I used to watch Jane Fonda workout videos and I would be inspired by them. My mom used to do her workout videos. I remember when I came up with this workout idea, I would actually pop in these workout videos from Jane Fonda and others and watch, okay, how did you put it together? Yeah. What does a workout video look like? I did not know what to put together. So I'd watch them. And then I would go back to my drawing board and say, okay, I'm going to come up with the intro. I'm going to explain Masala Bhangra. I'm going to, teach the entire choreography. Then we're going to do a cool down. And so I'll take my entire class and just put it on a workout video. Yeah. And then I did that 15 times, right? With so many different styles, choreography. Yeah. There's no end to coming up with choreography.
Yep.
And that just really, look, I started Masala Bhangra, honestly, for 1 year. I said, Mom, give me 1 year. I'm going to go to New York. I'm going to rock it out. And then I'll be back in California and I'll go get a full-time job. And then, we'll just call it from there.
Yep.
And that's what I said to her. And then year two happened. And I said, okay, Mom, 1 more year. And then that's it. Anyway, year 2 turned into year 10. And here I am now with 10 workout videos out. And my mom is, still a cutie pie. And she's like, okay, just tell me something. are you going to keep, like, what do you want to do with your life? And I was like, well, I think I found my career. I love what I do, Mom. And so, this is kind of what I want. She's like, you want to do this full time? I was like, yeah, I kind of think I do want to do it full time. I was already doing it full time because it had gone from a workout video and classes to, I mean, it's just been awesome to see it spiral into I got invited to have a show on Fit TV for 5 years. I got invited to come out to so many fitness conventions and present Masala Bhangra at these fitness conventions. I got invited to, do these big workshops with 5,000 people shouting out, "Bale, bale," which is just unheard of. And all created out of scratch, Tony. Like, no one hired me to do what I do. I think that's why I'm so emotional about it, because it's just, I'm in awe of, wow, when you really find something that you love, like the impact that you can make on people is extraordinary. And I don't know, I love it. I mean, it just went from this workout classes to so many things where now I'm coming back to Australia for the Oz Fitness Expo, which I'm so excited about.
That's what my next question was here, is when are you coming out? Because I know that you're actually on your way out here very, very soon. When are you coming out, and what is it for?
I can see your list of questions. You know that, right? Like I have ESP. I understand what you're going to ask me. I actually come out April. I leave on, it's literally a short turnaround. I'm coming out the week of April 12th. And so I will be in Melbourne, Australia, on April 12th. I land in the morning, and that night I do a masterclass that's open only for 50 people, and that's it. And then I'm presenting Masala Bhangra at the Oz Fitness Expo over the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. And I'm so excited because they're very excited, right? I'm bringing something completely new to this fitness industry. And, I'm nervous, of course. I still get very nervous doing what I do. I'm very good at what I do, but I still get very nervous. And I truly hope that the people in Melbourne, love it. They take to it. And whoever is coming for the show, please make sure you stop by and say hi to me. Please come and do my class. It's free to everyone who, buys a ticket and comes to the show. But on Friday, I'm doing a big master class. So if you want to come and experience Masala Bhangra, you've never experienced it before, you've heard about it because it's been out for 24 years. Everyone has talked about it. I would love for you to get in touch and come take my class, experience it. Give me a chance, Australia.
I will put details in the show notes on how people can get in touch with you with relation to that Friday night class. But guys, the Oz Fitness Expo that's happening, I think it's 12th, 13th, 14th, or 13th, 14th of
April.
April. Guys, get down there. If those listeners that are from Melbourne, I'm sure you guys know it's on already. So you'll be getting your tickets and getting down there. And anyone that can travel, actually, please get down there and suss it out. I think it's going to be fantastic. If I could, I would. But maybe we'd have to wait until next time you come to Sydney, and we'll do something up there in Sydney.
I'm hoping I can get to your city in Sydney. I would love to do. I would love to do something there.
I told Naki that next time I'm down in Melbourne, I'm going to try and find her class and try and find a time that I can get to do it, because it may sound silly, but weird, but I would.
But wait a minute. You can't do what you did with the step class. You have to promise me. You have to promise me that you're going to give.
I won't get there early.
3 chances. 3 chances. Okay. The first time you're going to be like, "Oh my God, I have no clue what I'm doing. What am I doing?" But you're going to go back. The second time you're going to be like, "Okay, I'm back. I promised I would be back the second time," but you really give it your all. And then I'm hoping third's a charm, where you'd be like, "Okay, I totally get why people love this so much."
Yep.
And then you'll be like, "Okay, I get it. I'll be back. I'll see you guys soon."
I'm going to say it'll probably take me about 10 to 12 classes, because I can't dance. I'm the sidestep guy that, cool, but that's enough for me. But I'm committed to giving it a shot. So I said to Naki, next time I'm down, we'll definitely give this a go, and that's my promise to you, that I will give it a shot, and I'll send you some video of me.
Yeah, that would be great. I would love that for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Now, a couple more questions that I wanted to throw at you that are just more group exercise specific, if we can. Now, understanding that the the industry would be quite different in America compared to what it is here in Australia. But what do you love about group exercise?
Oh, wow. That's such a loaded question. Um, it's so funny how to me that's a loaded question, but to somebody that they'll be like, what? What are you talking about?
Yep. Yep.
I am grateful to group exercise. I remember when I first came to New York in the year 2000, towards the tail end, I moved. I made the decision to move. So 2001 is when I moved. And right at the beginning of 2001, I had 15 classes under my belt. I was teaching. And the group exercise classes just rocked my world. Like you said in the beginning, I would walk in smiling, teach my classes, walk out smiling. Like I loved making an impact on those that are showing up. But what really stood out to me was now fast forward to 9/11. When 9/11 happened, I was nine months into New York, right? I thought, all right, this is it. This is home for me. And all of a sudden 9/11 happens and I was shattered because a lot of people, that whole discrimination came about against a lot of Arabs, Indians, and a lot of people thought I was Arab, and just the backlash that I got.
Yeah.
And that really kind of threw me off guard because I wasn't expecting that. And I remember that when that happened, the gyms were closed for a week. No one really came to classes. Everyone was very sad about it all. Of course, right? It hit the world.
Yeah.
And I will never forget, a week later, I got an email from my manager at the time at the sports club that I used to teach at saying, all right, instructors, while we all are still mourning, I don't know if we're ever going to get over this. I think you are so needed right now, and your energy is needed. And this was to an email to all of the instructors. Your energy is needed. People need you. Please consider coming back to teaching classes. Gyms are opening back up. Who's coming back? And that just really hit home for me, going, okay, I play a really big role in this community, and I am going to show up. I'm going to teach my class. And that was such an emotional experience because I remember teaching my first class a week later after 9/11. Students would show up, and then we all had a good cry afterwards.
Yep.
We were all sweaty. We were crying. We all just came together as New Yorkers saying, all right, we got to stay strong and, move forward with all this. And group exercise really was like therapy for many of us, including instructors. And after that, I was like, there is something here. Group exercise, doing something in a group with people. And I'll go this far. We always talk about self-care, right? Self this, self that, take some time out for yourself, read a book to yourself, go get your nails done, get a facial done. Like, it's all self-care. But no one ever talks about group care. Yeah. That group care is very important. I mean, that group exercise classes, when you find a class and you really love it and you stick to it, you show up every week, it's amazing how that instructor and then that people that show up every week also become part of your community, and they help you get out of whatever funk you may be in, whether losing a parent, getting divorced, breaking up with your significant other, whatever it may be. Those group exercise classes, believe it or not, will help. And that is why I think it's like therapy. They are so important for you to, instead of being by yourself doing self-care, really consider group care. And that whole group exercise is out there for a reason. That is why gyms have it, because I believe it works. So find something that you like to do and then go do those classes.
This is the GROUPEX Podcast.
You've put something else in my mind that I hadn't thought of at all, which is the group care. Yeah, we look after ourselves, we go there, but when you look at really what you're doing, you're there for you, but you're also there for other people that are around you. 100%. And that's such a powerful message. Thank you. Yeah, that's given my brain something else to think of, and I'm sure that listeners will tap into that as well. And whether they're an instructor or whether they're just a participant or an owner or a manager, whatever it may be, there's a message there that group exercise is powerful. Not only is it the biggest retention tool we've got, it's the biggest revenue stream you've got in a gym, but it is a powerful tool that actually helps your community grow and looks after everybody. Yeah, 45 minutes, half an hour, it doesn't matter how long the class is, people rocking up could be there, as you sort of alluded to, that they could be dealing with the worst thing, or that could be their one little bit of the day where that's their outlet. And without you there, the instructor, or without the other participants around them, they ain't got anything.
Exactly.
And it's so nice to hear that from yourself, and hear that from someone that's been in the industry for so long as well, that is a massively important thing that we do. Yeah, group exercise is huge. The next question I've got for you, is there anything in the group exercise or fitness industry that needs to change? And I know that's a pretty big question as well, because I don't mean it to come across as a negative thing, but just on a top level, is there anything that you think we should be changing within the fitness industry with relation to Group X?
If there was one thing that I would have to say that would change is, I don't know how to say this. And this is probably why I don't have 50,000 Masala Bhangra instructors running around. While if I did have 50,000 instructors running around, I would be obviously very loaded today. But that is just the point, is I'm not looking for... in the group exercise industry, I just hope that whoever is hiring group exercise instructors, and then whoever is wanting to become a group exercise instructor, understand that your role is very important. It is not all about you, or how you look, or how, you make someone feel, because that is very powerful. I believe that instructors of any kind, right, whether it's exercise or education, or whatever it may be, they play a pivotal role in people's lives at no matter what age. And I just hope that, one, if you want to be a group exercise instructor, really mean it, really want it, really know that, don't do it for any other reason other than just you want to make a difference in your community. Don't be, there was when I remember teaching Masala Bhangra at so many different fitness conventions, and people would come up to me and say, oh my God, I would love to teach this in Timbuktu, and I'm going to be the first. Oh my God, this is going to be so exciting. I'm going to be the first person to be teaching this. And I would be like, okay, that's great. I think that's awesome. You would be the first person to teach it. And of course, that's great marketing. Of course, that's great everything for you. But do it passionately. Don't do it because of the
fame and glory.
The glory and the attention that you're going to get. Do it because the thing is, when that attention and glory don't come, then that might just, make you want to quit and go, okay, you know what? That's not for me. I'm getting so much more glory out of this, so I'm just going to continue doing that. Because when I first started teaching Masala Bhangra, right, it's not like I had I started off with this really small class and a very small following, and it grew because I believed in it so much that it continued to grow. And I think that's what the question I get asked a lot today is, how do you keep going? It's because I believed in it so much. Now, not a lot of people will have that kind of perseverance. But that is what I say to anyone who wants to come and teach fitness today. Make sure you're doing it for the community. And of course, you want to bring a part of you and your bubbly personality to the community. But remember that, right? This is not about your show. It's about your students. And I feel like that's lost today in the group exercise industry.
Yeah. No, I share something with you that when I first...
Tony, it's changed.
Yes.
Group exercise today has changed.
Yeah. When I first started teaching, it took me a while to realize that it wasn't about me. It took me a while to realize that, they weren't coming for me. They were coming for the experience that I was passing on to them, were coming for the atmosphere and what I was able to create, but it wasn't for me. And as soon as that gelled and it landed, my teaching style changed altogether. And what I was able to do then was connect with people and make people, as you said, feel that inclusiveness and getting them to realize that the workout was for them. They were there for them, not for me whatsoever. And I think that I've spoken about it on the show here a couple of times, and it lands with people because you can see the people that are in it just for themselves, instructors that are just in it for themselves, they don't last long within the industry. They're looking for the next high. They're looking for that next buzz that's going to give them that gratification that they need. And so they move on. Yep, brilliant. Thanks for coming. Yeah, it was great. The instructors that I think that have hung around are those instructors that have had that moment as well to realise hey, I'm actually here for those people in front of me. And while, yes, I have my flair and I have my talent that I bring and my cheekiness and whatever it may be that I bring along, those people that are in front of me, I'm here for them, and they appreciate the fact that I'm not the show pony. I am just here to teach. I have a skill set, and I'm going to pass that on to them.
Exactly.
So I totally agree with you on that. I think it's so important for instructors to realize why they teach.
Yeah, I think it's important. I think that's the one thing. And the second thing I would change is, while I understand fitness shows have to make money, but there is still something relevant about people who have education. I have education to pass down to instructors, and that education could be, what is Bhangra, what is Bollywood, and instead of just watching a video or watching someone do it on TV and then taking that and putting it into your classes, I have real education behind it, and I can answer the cultural questions. Yeah. And I wish the fitness industry would see that as a asset to the shows versus, okay, we're going to charge you, a lot of money for you to come and present Masala Bhangra at our show. And this is why I'm grateful to Oz Fitness Expos, because they saw my talent, they saw what I bring to the table, they saw the education aspect of it, and they invited me as a guest to come and rock the expo with what I have, what I can do in those 45 minutes. And I appreciate that so much. I really do, because that is why I am taking the time out to come. And quick turnaround. But they saw value in me, and so I'm going to give that right back and say, I see value in you, and let's work this together. Everyone wants to make money. I get that. But there's other ways to make money, because there's true education that people have, and it breaks my heart that these fitness expos that used to be these expos that I, as a fitness instructor, would go to get my education, my CECs, has now turned into a profit, experience where you have to pay to play. And I lost interest in that almost 10 years ago.
It's funny you mentioned that. I wrote an article this week, can't remember when it was now, come on Monday, about fitness expos and what, the good, the bad, the ugly of fitness expos, what to look out for, the pros and the cons, all that kind of stuff. So if anyone wants to have a read, please jump on over to the GroupEX website under news and have a look at it as well, because there was virtually what you said then, there's some very interesting stuff going on in that space. And while, yes, they can be great, they can also be detrimental. And there's a whole lot of other stuff that we need to look at and consider when going to an expo, and from every perspective, whether it's just an instructor going along, whether it's a club owner or manager, or even whether it's a product supplier that's going there for their reasons. Let's look at getting the reasons right so that we can get the right people attending for the right reasons. So I appreciate that, because I hadn't even chatted to you about that. And it's great that you had touched on that one as well, which I think is fantastic.
I told you, I saw your notes.
Yeah, I know. I don't know how, but yeah. Hey, two more questions that I want to throw at you, and then we'll wrap it up, because I'm mindful of your time as well. What does the future hold for you?
Well, right now I am focused on Masala Bhangra's 25th anniversary, and just wanting to gear up for that. Have a great 25th year of, I don't know exactly yet. Yep. So just very grateful to have 25 years of Masala Bhangra being out, workout videos, and all of the collabs that I've done in the last 25 years. So just celebrating that. That is what I am foreseeing for right now. And then after that, I will still continue. I have said to myself, I will continue to teach as long as I can. And as long as I'm interested in it. There's nothing right now that has said, okay, that's enough. Yep. You're good now. I got an email a year ago. I write newsletters as well, and I send them out, and I said, age doesn't matter, or something about, can you believe we're coming on 21 years of Masala Bhangra? And I got a reply back saying, you're still doing this? Aren't you too old now to be doing this? And I was like, wow, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
In fact, I have a lot of energy. Let's go. I mean, says who? You're too old to exercise. Like, if anything, you should be exercising more now, what we talked
Yeah.
about earlier, than
Yeah.
anything. So that really hit home with me because I was like, no, I still have a lot of energy. And when you come and take class with me, I mean, a student of mine came back last week after years and said, okay, wow, you're still the same. You still have all the energy in the world. That's pretty incredible. And that puts a big smile on my face because I found something that I love. And now what's even more is I have two girls. We have two girls, my husband and I. They are 5 and 7 currently, and they keep me busy. And I have chosen to be at home with them and be at their beck and call whenever they need me because, I brought them into this world. I want to be with them every minute when I can. So now they're going to start traveling with me. They're going to go places with me, and I can't wait to show them my world of fitness and exercise and teaching in different parts of the world. So hopefully I'll be traveling more in 2025. By the way, the Oz Fitness Show is my first show after a 7-year hiatus. So 7 years ago is when I traveled the world, taught classes in so many different countries. Yep. Then I got married, had children, and that, of course,
things changed.
Things changed, and then COVID hit, right? So really, we were at a halt. So this is very exciting to come back, with as a guest and to be invited. I am beyond excited. Please, listeners, come to my masterclass, please.
Yep. You mentioned before about being nervous, and I'm going to say I know why you're nervous, because you love it so much. When you love something as much as you do, that's when the nerves come through. I get that every time before I record. Before I'm sitting down to record, now I've done, I think this is 98 or 99 that I've smashed through now. But leading up to it, for the first 10 minutes before I'm recording, before my guest comes on screen, I'm sitting here panicking. The top part of me may look completely calm, but underneath my legs are going like a duck and water underneath. And it's like, okay. But it's that nerves. And I think the day that I'll stop doing this is the day those nerves stop. And I don't have that anticipation or that, oh, wow, I'm excited about what I'm about to do. And I love that. And I love that comes from you as well. It shows that you really care about what you do.
Oh, yeah, for sure. The impact it makes. And I hope after a 7-year hiatus, Tony, I hope my visit to Melbourne is going to be impactful. Yeah. I really do. I mean, that is my wish, is to make it impactful on a much bigger scale. I'm proud of the instructors that are currently there. Hats off to Naki, who has fully embraced and believed in Masala Bhangra and has helped me carry it forward in Melbourne. And she's become a master trainer where she understands it so much that she's able to teach other people how to teach. Yeah. And that's pretty powerful, right? And that's been amazing to watch her grow. And there's a part of me that is also coming for her because, I know that it would be great, for all of us to be together, and it's an important trip, and let's hope it makes an impact.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. Hey, the last question I've got is about advice. Is there any bit of advice you'd like to pass on to instructors that are listening?
To all of the instructors that are out there, the fitness world has changed, but keep remembering, please, that your role is very important in whatever you teach and wherever you teach. Understand that, when you show up as a humble human being, you will have followers. People will follow you wherever you go. But keep it humble. Stay true to yourself and be authentic in front of your students. Let them know where you're coming from. Let them know who you are. Be humble, because the minute that another type of personality comes up, people will remember you, but they may not come back. So I think if you want to make an impact in the fitness world, show up humbly and know that you're there for your students and care for them. Like just meet them, like see them, believe in them, because they rely on you for that.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming and sharing some time with me and explaining to us and giving us a journey on what Masala Bhangra actually is. I hope that those people that are in Melbourne are able to get to the show, to meet you and come along and do a class as well. But from me to you, thank you so much for your time. I've greatly appreciated it.
Oh my gosh, it was awesome. Thank you for doing this for 2.5 years now. Hats off to you, man. That's commitment for sure. Oh, and then Tony, in Masala Bhangra, whenever we say woo, we say bale bale.
You ready? Bale bale!